Welcome to Random Movie Reviews. I'm Nathan, and today I'll be talking about Sinners. Sorry. So Sinners is the latest Ryan Coogler film that just came out last month, and it's been getting a ton of buzz. I'm primarily on Letterboxd. That's how I see fan reception of movies. And when Sinners came out, just 5-star reviews across the board. This movie's been getting so much acclaim, and I was already looking forward to it because prior to Sinners, I've seen pretty much all of Ryan Coogler's movies except for Black Panther 2. But as far as Fruitvale Station and Creed in particular is one of my favorite movies of the 2010s because I'm a massive Rocky fan. I just loved how that movie contributed to the Rocky legacy while also creating its own original story. I might do a video talking about how much I love Creed in the future. But I'm a pretty big Ryan Coogler fan. He is a very, very good filmmaker, and I'm just really excited to see where his career goes in terms of making original movies. So I was already very much looking forward to Sinners. And, admittedly, I went in with high expectations because, like I said, this is one of those movies where people are like, oh my God, this is the best movie of the year so far. One of the best movies that's come out in the past couple of years. It's a masterpiece. It's perfect. All of this stuff, right? And I just got done watching it like an hour ago. And my short review of it is I liked it. I liked it a lot. I don't think it's quite the game-changing cinematic masterpiece that a lot of people are making it out to be. I'm not saying that this movie doesn't deserve praise. It absolutely does. The direction is fantastic. The cast and the performances, which I'll get into, is really, really solid. The overall look and atmosphere of the movie is great. And it just has a really engaging story with likable and memorable characters. But at the same time, there wasn't really a moment while I was watching the movie where I'm like, oh my God, this is like the best thing I've ever seen. I didn't really get that moment, and apparently a lot of people who have seen this movie have gotten that, and I think that's great, but I guess I didn't really know what to expect as I was watching the movie. I'm like, yeah, I like this, I'm entertained, I'm engaged. Oh, the vampire stuff is pretty fun, although admittedly fairly cliche, but that's fine, I really enjoyed it. And then the movie ended, I was like, yeah, I liked it a lot, but it's not like the greatest thing ever. And I'm wondering if this is one of those things where people are so starved for original movies, original in the sense that, this isn't a well-known IP, this isn't a superhero movie, this isn't a fucking Star Wars movie or, some nostalgia bait bullshit. This is an original passion project from Ryan Coogler. And I think people are so starved for those kind of movies that they can't help but go a little bit overboard with their praise of the film. Ultimately, I like the movie and I think people should watch it. And I'll go a little bit into the details here. This is going to be one of my more vague reviews because this is a newer movie and I don't want to spoil too much for people. But yeah, let's just get a little bit into kind of the synopsis of the movie. So the movie takes place in the 1930s in Mississippi, and it's primarily focused on the character of Sammy, who is an aspiring blues musician who is also the son of the town preacher, and his father does not want him to get into the blues because of the association with the devil, which is kind of a big theme in this movie. But Sammy is a very gifted singer, songwriter, and a really amazing blues guitar player, and this is the path that he wants to follow. He then meets up with his cousins, the twin brothers Stack and Smoke, who are World War I veterans as well as gangsters who are coming back to their town and are looking to buy a juke joint in order to create a business opportunity for them to make music and sell booze and just have a place for them and their friends and family and people to hang out, and just it's a business opportunity for them. So they invite Sammy to play blues for them at their juke joint. And then we get introduced to other side characters like Delta Slim, who's a great character in this movie and also a well-known veteran blues musician, and they get him to go play at the juke joint as well. We then get a little bit of backstory with the twin brother characters, played amazingly by Michael B. Jordan. I love Michael B. Jordan. He's an awesome actor, and he really is so good in this movie. With Smoke, he has a relationship, a previous marriage that kind of disintegrated after their premature death of their child. And his wife is really into voodoo and is very knowledgeable about the supernatural, which comes in later in the movie, is a very important part of the plot. And then with Stack, he gets reunited with Mary, played by Haley Steinfeld. They have a previous relationship that is obviously taboo because she's white and he's black, and obviously that's a big other theme of this movie is, you know, race relations and cultural appropriation is touched upon in this film as well, and things of that nature. And so the first half, actually the first 90 minutes or so, this is a bit of a long movie, and that's kind of a complaint. You do start to kind of feel its length a little bit, even though I was never bored watching the movie, but I do think it didn't necessarily need to be nearly 2.5 hours long. But the movie does a really good job establishing these core characters, getting you to be engaged with them, to sympathize with them, to want to root for them. And so the movie is building up to the night of the juke joint being opened, and we have all of our characters there, and there's a great scene where Sammy is playing the blues, and it's a literal barn burner, and Ryan Coogler is also showing through that scene the influence that blues music has had on rock music and hip-hop. And, you know, I really like that scene in theory, although in execution it kind of came off as a little bit jarring, where like a guitar player who looks very similar to the guitar player Funkadelic shows up playing a flying V out of nowhere, and then a DJ is shown in the background scratching some records, and there's a hip-hop artist, and then there's a lady just twerking. Really like that scene in theory. I like what that scene is saying about the influence and the power of blues music and how important it is. Just as a genre, it is like, you know, it's a foundation for so many other genres. But in the execution of it, it felt a little bit jarring, and it kind of took me out of the movie a little bit, but that's a very minor complaint. And then we have the main villain of this movie, the Irish vampire Remick, and the fact that his character is Irish was a really smart decision on Ryan Coogler's part, where it's like, if you know the history of Ireland and their history and is, you know, rooted in bigotry, and there's oppression that they've suffered as well. So I like that the movie didn't dumb down like cultural appropriation and try to make all the vampires like, you know, mindless monsters that are trying to suck the lifeblood of another culture. I like that there's a little bit of nuance to that I really appreciated. And overall, I think Remick is a really great villain, and Jack O'Connell's performance is another big standout in this movie. And so the movie takes a long time. It takes about 90 minutes until we get to the vampire stuff. And then when the vampire stuff does happen, it's fun. But it's nothing groundbreaking, which is okay. Not every movie has to be groundbreaking. The only reason I'm even mentioning that is because that's kind of the reception that this movie's been getting, that like everything about it is amazing, and there are amazing stuff in the movie. Like, I love the characters and the performances, and I love the look of the movie. I think that stuff's amazing. I love the music, but the vampire stuff, although fun, is kind of like the least interesting part of this movie. It's used allegorical, similar to the way, you know, Jordan Peele takes horror and mixes it with social commentary and things like that. This movie's kind of reminiscent of movies like Get Out and Us and stuff like that. And the reason the vampire stuff even like has suspense and tension at all is because we care about the characters and we want to see them get out of this, and that's why I was invested in it. And without getting too much into spoilers, the way the movie resolves Sammy's character, and when it fast forwards to the future a little bit, and he's playing blues music, and it's played by legendary blues musician Buddy Guy, which is an amazing touch. That ending scene kind of elevates the movie to another level for me about the power of the blues music, and this is why we have the blues. I know I'm being kind of vague about that because I don't want to give too many spoilers for a movie that just came out, because ultimately I would recommend this movie. I would recommend it to horror movie fans, vampire movie fans, and fans of just good drama with interesting characters. I mean, if you're a little squeamish when it comes to like sex stuff and maybe many talks of cunnilingus in this movie, which was kind of a strange choice. So if you're offended by that type of stuff, then this movie probably won't be for you. But ultimately, I think this movie is quite accessible. I think it has kind of a crowd-pleasing vibe to it. The way the movie concludes with all of our core characters is really satisfying, and ultimately it's just a really entertaining movie, but it's not like a masterpiece. Sorry. Like, so far, Creed is my favorite Ryan Coogler movie, and I know I have a bit of a bias towards that because of my love of the Rocky movies, but Creed was just so amazing to me. And so I don't think Sinners is on that level, but I'm just speaking for myself. I have little gripes with it. I think the movie's a little too long. I think there are some scenes that were good in theory that were kind of executed in kind of a clunky way, in my opinion, such as the piercing of the veil, as they call it, with Sammy's blues music. The way Coogler brought in, other genres and time periods into that scene it took me out of the movie a little bit, even though I liked it in theory. All the vampire stuff was fun and I really enjoyed it, but there's nothing like too special about it. Like, you've seen this type of vampire action in other movies before. From Dusk Till Dawn, obviously, is going to be the main comparison with this movie, which, it's the same structure, but it's a different story, different characters, and really meaningful themes. It's clearly a passion project for Ryan Coogler, and that does come across. You feel the passion in the filmmaking and the storytelling. You feel the passion in the way the blues is being explored and how it's rooted in African American culture and how important it is to culture as a whole. And that's my favorite stuff of the movie, is the fact that the way it talks about and explores blues music was really awesome, and that's my favorite stuff about it. So overall, it's a solid 4 out of 5 for me. 4 stars out of 5. That's how I'm going to rate it on Letterboxd. Thought it was a really good movie. I definitely can see myself rewatching this and seeing it again in the future. So yeah, ultimately, I like this movie, but I want to hear from you guys. For those who have seen Sinners, what are your thoughts? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Mention it in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys for watching.